I'd like to share a piece that I wrote for this evening that I think is extremely fitting, called Human Race. We so foolishly named it the human race, but each one of us spends our lives moving in slow motion, most of us truly believing that our accomplishments represent our devotion, so you can understand my confusion when this delusion of ours causes my thoughts to clutter. I've struggled with my racial identity my whole life. 17 years of not Korean enough, 17 years of not white enough, constantly dipping my foot into pools I didn't belong in. 17 years of, you must have an A in math, and 17 years of, yeah, she's pretty for an Asian, 17 years of, you all look the same anyway. Is your last name Kim, Park, or Lee? From the South or North? Do your parents speak English? 17 years of slurs and offensive expressions, and then 17 years of racist comments that made me ashamed of who I was. 17 years of learning to see my Korean side through the eyes of my mom, and to forget painful childhood memories as I could still hear laughter on playgrounds in the background of my thoughts as I try to focus on my future. And I wish she never had to know. I wish that little me thought every story had a happy ending just for a little bit longer, that she got to focus on her pink Barbie dress and her favorite Snoopy cup before it got interrupted by the world and all that we've done to mess it up. Is it so hard to ask for a cease to the violence because this virus we now live with is hurtful enough? I guess I should say viruses plural, because racism is spreading, and like COVID-19, I promise it kills. Not just the lives of people, but the hope in their hearts and the dreams that they once had for a better world. A world without hate that stems from racial cause, a world where we don't need to fight and we don't need to mourn the loss of our neighbors and friends and those on the news because we no longer worry about things like racially motivated elder abuse. Now I know anger. I know its face and its intentions, the way it slithers slowly in, the way it mimics infection, traveling from one to the next with no damage control, while you try to figure out why the whole world is falling apart. And sometimes I wish that I had the powers to put it back together, to tether each broken person to the next in hopes they could fix one another. But cracks don't go away by themselves. They linger until the pressure is too much, and the lies that have us wrapped around their finger cause a divide that we can no longer overcome. It's okay to be angry. I can't say that I'm not. I'm also sad and confused, but nowhere close to giving up. And I know that you're tired of empty promises and hollow commitments that leave you feeling uninspired, but you've been buttonholed by these illusions of utopia filled with marigolds and a clear sky, but I'm here to tell you that that's all a lie. I'm not here to promise you anything. It obviously hasn't worked. I can't stand here and tell you everything's going to be okay because nothing I say will lighten the load on your shoulders. The yellow brick road stopped a few miles back. But we have a little time to get back on track. And I'm doing everything that I can, but it's not enough. And trust me, that realization is really, really tough. But I need your help. I need you to dig just a little deeper and find one reason you think this planet is worth fighting for, because personally, I think she's a keeper. But we've polluted her oceans and we've chopped down her trees, and every time she pleaded for help, she was cut at the knees. She bleeds for our benefit, and we look the other way. We'll start wars over her blood before we choose to change. Now we call ourselves the human race. Don't worry, we're in the lead. We've by far the best time because every day we get a little closer to our own finish line. I know I'm putting it harshly, but I don't think that there's another way. For us to face the fact that something needs to change. We don't get a clean slate or new leaf, whatever you choose to call it. Because tall orders are in order to bring real profit. Not just to our lives, but to those of the future, so please. Stop telling me to wait till I'm older, because it must happen sooner. Thank you.